Hey, what is up? I've got 5 new tanks for you, starting with this one, which isn't really new, but it is kind of significant because the WZ111 Model 6 is slated to be the next Battle Pass extended reward tank. I don't know for 100% sure, but I think this would be the next tank. There is some rumors out there that says it is, so we'll see what happens. That is the reason why I'm adding this tank into the interest pool of the 5 tanks that I'm gonna show you today that has been added to 122 common test and probably the 122 live server. Now this thing, of course, the Model 6 already been added, I think 2-3 patches ago, and I think if the rumors are correct, this will be the Battle Pass extended reward tank. It is a Chinese heavy tank. Of course, it has that Polish, or is it Czechoslovakian tier 9 turret on it with the WZ111 hull, and it has a 0.38 accuracy, really bad moving dispersion, but this is a heavy tank with 360 alpha, and it is supposed to be a breakthrough tank. Like, you know, you got to be fighting face to face. It has reasonable top speed, 50 kilometers going forward, the power to weight ratio 14.78, pretty good and interesting tank. Now the next tank is also kind of interesting, but it's kind of weird looking because it has an oscillating turret. I know it doesn't look like it, but you'll see in a moment that you can actually see right through the turret of the tank. I don't know how the crew gets in there to operate the gun. I suppose the crew is going to be laying down flat on the turret, and he's just lying on his belly while he's reloading the gun and then firing it off. Or this thing could be like a drone tank where just the crew driving the tank around is sitting in the sitting in the driver's position and the gunner's position, and then they fire it off with remote controls. I don't know what's going on with this tank. Really weird looking. It also has these kind of cooling coils on the gun barrel, supposedly to cool the gun down. Maybe this tank has some kind of cool down mechanic which they've implemented into the onslaught, or not the onslaught, the overwhelming firepower game mode. This could be one of these tanks which have this cooling mechanic. We'll see what happens. I don't know for sure what's going on with this tank, but this tank is really weird. I don't know where's the loader, the gunner gonna lie down. He's gonna lie down on somewhere inside there on his belly and reload the tank. I think that's how it's supposed to work. Anyway, this tank 35 kilometers an hour going forward, 12 in reverse, 15.4 power to weight ratio. This is a heavy tank, 320 alpha, 230 standard pen and 290 premium penetration. This is the Type 63 Japanese heavy. The next one is the PR68 prototype. Now this is supposed to be a medium tank. It looks kind of weird because of their nose. I don't know, it's not a shovel. I don't know, what is it? Is it kind of like a ballast? Is this tank supposed to be some kind of amphibious tank? Is that what it's supposed to be? What is that front part of that tank about the nose of the tank? Is it supposed to be some kind of ballast? Is it supposed to have air inside so that the tank can float? I don't know what's going on with that nose of the tank, but this tank has 5 degrees and 9 degrees of gun depression, which gives me an indication that this tank could have what mechanic you call it, the suspension mechanic, where when you go slower and you get more gun depression or whatever. I'm not sure how this tank is going to work, but we're going to find out soon when they release more information about it. It has pretty good accuracy, 0.33 dispersion, but the moving dispersion is absolutely horrendous, 0.25. You will never hit anything on the move. You need to be stationary while firing this gun, and might as well, because you got 400 alpha damage on a 15-second gun, basically 14.38 seconds of reload time. This thing has a heavy tank reload. Sure enough, it has a heavy tank alpha damage as well. That is why it has such a poor reload. good accuracy, but you can't shoot on the move. So very weird tank. We'll see what happens with the PR68 prototype. This next one is not a prototype, but this thing is called the Tiger Mouse. It is neither a tiger, but it does have a mouse turret. It has the E100 hull and the mouse turret on on the E100 platform. Really weird looking. Of course, it's a German tank. It has to have the longest name, Panzer Kampfwagen Tiger Mouse, 120 ton, 1200 horsepower, and this thing has 1950 hit points, power to weight ratio of only 10, 32 kilometers an hour going forward, 16 in reverse. This thing is a super heavy and it's going to be super slow. It has a huge alpha gun though, 530 alpha damage, 246 pen on standard AP shells, and the premium shells 1150 on APCR shells with 311 millimeters of penetration. The dispersion is not bad, 0.35 accuracy. What's more interesting is the moving dispersion is only 0.18, so it will have pretty good accuracy on the move. So while you are side scraping, hustling forward and backwards, rocking your tank, it's gonna be pretty accurate. 2.3 seconds of reload time. This thing has AP shells and APCR premium shells. Now, out of all the tanks, this one is the most interesting tank to me because this is the first amphibious Russian tank after World War II. This is the PT-76. I don't know why it's called LTS-85, but it has the PT-76 hull, the first amphibious light tanks that is basically the grandfather of all the BTR tanks today, I suppose. It has the same kind of look to it, and it's really interesting because it is a light tank with terrible accuracy, 0.40 accuracy. You won't hit anything 100 meters, 200 meters away. It's going to be really bad accuracy, but the moving dispersion only 0.12, which means you don't need to run any kind of vertical stabilization. This thing, however, the other quirky thing about this tank is the AP shells has got pretty good shell velocity of 1027 meters per second, but the premium shells are heat shells and the shell velocity is just going to be slightly faster than artillery shells. Basically, the heat shells only 795 meters per second shell velocity. This is going to make a very interesting, challenging tank. It is, however, a lot faster than any kind of wheel tank out there because the power to weight ratio nearly 30 and the rotation speed 52.15 degrees per second. It's going to react faster than wheel tanks. So anyway, those are the new tanks. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.